Hello, and welcome back to the shop. I've been told this channel isn't as informative as others, so this week we changed that with the most informative episode ever. Follow along with me as I get a massive chunk of the inletting finished. We perform a full orthoplasty, then I fix a loose dovetail. All that and more, it's time to get to work. In order for this to be the most informative episode ever, I may be stating the obvious at times, but that's a risk I'm gonna have to take. Also, there's a reason for not being informative, and that's just simply YouTube policy. Especially in this area, they're extremely strict and erratic. Longtime viewers will already know the absurdity I've gone through for this channel. So just to be safe, dear YouTube, this isn't creating or modifying a firearm. The only thing I'm doing is restoring it back to its original condition. The firearm was created over 100 years ago. This is purely a restoration and woodworking. So now let's get into it. And I like to grind a pencil in half and use it as a way to make the boundaries. So there's a lot of variables to this method, so it's not like we can just automatically chisel out to that line and hey presto, it's perfect. It's more of a guideline, traffic cones on a driving course. And those white lines there are just to indicate critical sections, meaning the fit is already near complete in that area, so I don't hit the top edge and create a gap. I also spray the top edge with a clear coat so the pencil or the markings don't get rubbed off. And it's extremely important to not get too hasty or impatient. Look at the thickness of these cuts. It's like paper thin. Yes, this takes longer, but it's better to take the time rather than making a gap, especially on the top edge. Now, once you get below that top edge, you can kind of cut a little deeper and a little more free-handed. But at the top, you really want to just shave it like deli meat, like thin deli meat. Is that a good analogy? Whatever. And by far the best transfer ink is Jarrow's Inletting Black. I've tried Prussian Blue. I hate Prussian Blue. The only problem with the Jarrow's is its availability. I'm pretty sure I have the only bottle left on this planet. And I'm almost positive it's older than me. So once that bottle goes, well, that's just the end of this channel. Nah, I'm kidding. We're just gonna have to figure out how to make it. I'll put a whole AI data center on figuring out the recipe on how to do it. And I'm just scraping atoms off of this thing here. As I said, don't get too hasty. This side scraper is really a wonderful tool, but I opt at finding lacking in mobility. For instance, when I scrape the walls, I have to hold the tool upright and it's harder to control. So I usually have to cant the workpiece in my vise, but that eats up time in the long run. So what I've done is prototype this scraper, so that I can shave the walls all without having to remount my vise. This is the prototype, proof of concept, okay. I will be making a better designed one, but that'll be in next Tuesday's video, so don't go making one of these. Don't do that. Alright, and that was about a week's worth of inletting summed up in about 5 minutes. Now I'm moving on to cleaning up the rough tool marks left over from the duplicator. Then I'm moving on to the cheek piece and going in depth on that. Now, normally I would use a draw knife for this, but I took it home for my Patreon series and I forgot it there. So today, I am the draw knife. I'm just flattening the exterior so I can get a better concept of what the stock proper looks like, and this will help me mentally map out what direction I want to take this in. I'm not cutting anything to full depth just yet. I'm just getting a rough shape, a rough form, so I can get an overall look at what it looks like and what I want it to look like. So again, we're just cleaning it up. Now that I've gotten a cleaner appearance, I can move on to the cheek piece. But first things first, I'm going to need to get a nice flat surface to start with. And we can't have one of these series without showing off my Vixen file. This thing, let me tell you, if you're a longtime viewer, you know how much I just love these things. Hard to find though. So if you know of any, send them my way. And if you work at Nicholson, hey, I'm all ears for a sponsorship, dude. Anyways, look how fast this cuts. Watch this. Yep. Look at that. All those tool marks gone. One swipe. Dude, can you believe that? It's magic. And not only does it cut super fast, it leaves a perfectly smooth surface too. Like you can... After this Vixen file, you can jump straight to 320 sandpaper. I could talk about this thing all day. Now I move to my favorite part, the cheek piece. This being one of the most prominent features, it's of the utmost importance to get it exactly right. A good cheek piece is about radii, subtlety, and coherent curves. Just because it's a prominent feature doesn't mean it needs to be flashy or eye-catching. In fact, it's better when it's simpler. Unless you're Austrian, then you love this kind of thing. Alright, not gonna lie, I like those too. Okay. What's your favorite style? Comment below. Because of its origin and popularity in Britain, it's only proper to do a British-style cheek piece. Normally in my past series, I have majorly undercut the inner radius to where the top edge overhangs and hides it, which is a more German style. This, however, we want British, so I will take the top edge back and expose more of the inner radius. I do this slowly with a gentle, turning upsweep with the half-round file. Again, this needs to flow all together in beautiful conterminality. Much more visible here rather than this part overhanging. But I want even more. I want that top edge pushed back like a receding hairline. So I'm using this white pencil so not only you can see it, but to ensure I work the entire edge equally. You'll notice I've also switched to a flat pillar file. Believe it or not, a flat file is exactly what you want to make a perfect concave radius. Alright, I'm happy with that as a rough shape. The shadow line still needs to be adjusted to be congruent, but we'll get to that down the road. To check this, I like to look down at the top edge and move my eye until the bottom line disappears. If the top line hides the bottom line equally, then you know it's within proportion.
Ein Bier im Laden, ein kühler Traum. Zwischen Regalen, da find ich Raum. Die Flaschen glitzern wie Sternenlicht. Die Kasse piept, das Glück zerbricht nicht. Shop Beers, Prost, mein Freund. Ein Schluck, ein Lachen, wir sind vereint. Shop Beers, das Leben so fein. Mit einem Krug voll Glück im Sonnenschein. Der Kühlschrank summt, ein froher Ton. Ich greif zur Dose, das ist mein Lohn. Der Laden duftet nach Malz und Korn. Hier wird der Durst des Lebens geboren. Shop Beers, Prost, mein Freund. Ein Schluck, ein Lachen, wir sind vereint.
When one of these gets dropped, they get broken. When they're broken, I fix them. Now I feel this segment is all very self-explanatory, and you deserve a nice break from hearing me talking. So sit back, just relax. Guys, go buy these shirts. They're awesome. They look good on you. Every woman wants your works when you wear Mercs. Someone, sometime, somewhere, had gotten their mitts on a Dovetail file and attempted to open this Dovetail up. They failed. Now, it is a sad sight to see. But hold your tears, because I can fix it. With a round-nosed punch, I just peen the inner edge of the two dovetails over, just moving that metal inwards. As you can see, the metal has been displaced towards the inside, giving me a smaller width dovetail. Now comes time to pound it back into place. As you can see, we have a nice tight fit. Reassembly of the sight, and we're well on our way. With one problem fixed, now we have another. Luckily, this one's easy.
Die Flaschen glänzen.
My beer cap Plinko game seems to be full. It must be Friday. Guys, thanks for watching. Buy a shirt, join the Patreon, have a great week. See you Tuesday.
Shop Bier, oh Shop Bier, wir heben das Glas. Shop Bier, oh Shop Bier, ein Prost für den